Adventures of Casey here. We're going to try and do another episode of our Just Because You're Camping Doesn't Mean You Have to Eat Like a Savage. I know it's been a couple years since we did one, but what the hell, we're up here and it just seems like something I want to do. Excuse the glare. We got a little bit of a snow dusting. I don't know if I can tune that out later or not. So just real quick, while we do this video, today is going to be a from scratch Guinness based beef stew, and I'll go over everything, put the recipe in the comments, all that other happy horse shit when we post this thing. So again, anything you see in these videos, any questions, comments, concerns, bitches, gripes, moans, complaints, whatever, throw it in the comment section. We'll get back to you. Yep, that's about it. Okay, so one of the things that's important on just about anything for your is having your camp kitchen set up. We've pared this down over the last several years. We've got to the point where, you know, these little front runner wolf pack boxes, pretty much the entire kitchen fits into 2 of them. I got 4 out here, so I use 2 for all my utensils, plates, bags, all my cast iron and whatnot. I have 1 that I use for like dry goods. That's where I keep all the canned stuff, or, you know, potato chips or something while we're camping. And then I have another smaller box that has, you know, the blender, the little jet boil, because sometimes we don't feel like doing big cooking, or, you know, and all my spices and seasonings and all that happy horse shit. So yeah, I really like these products. I really like a lot of front runner stuff, but, you know, I've been playing around on their website the last couple days, and holy fuck, their shit has gone, you know, outrageously expensive. These boxes were like $29.99 a piece back when I bought them, and now they want $60-something for them, and there ain't no reason for shit to double in price. I mean, they're fucking plastic. I mean, they work great, don't get me wrong. They connect, they stack, they fit everything, you know, where I need it to, but $60 for a box is pretty fucking unreasonable. So front runner, if you see that, you know, eat a dick, fix your prices. Okay, 2 quick things that I want to cover on this. Number 1, equipment. You don't have to get super fancy. You need some cast iron. You need a Dutch oven. You probably should have a couple skillets. I personally don't like the new Lodge stuff. For my skillets, I use some old vintage Wagner ware. For my Dutch oven, it's usually just me and Casey, so we use this this one right here. And this is a company called Bare Bones Living. And I don't know, found them. The iron seems pretty good. I did have to re-season it and finish it because their initial season sucked. But one of the cool features they have is a nice little temperature guide on the inside of the lid. So if you are new to Dutch oven cooking and you don't want to eyeball it, or you're trying to get an exact temperature, it does make it a little bit easier if you're using charcoal to, you know, amount of briquettes on top and bottom to get the temperatures that you need. Another thing that you need to have are some decent knives. Now, if you remember from my Jaeger Schnitzel video, I had a whole frickin' knife roll, and you know, we've pared it down over the years. We're trying to cut down on all the crap we take. These cleaver knives. So these things, you see them all over Facebook. You see them advertised everywhere. You get emails for them, Google ads, all the other nonsense. There's like 7 million different ones out there. The ones that I've been using, it's a company called the Cooking Guild. I don't know if you can see their logo there. I've been really, really happy with their equipment. I have one that I keep at the house. I have one that I keep here in the truck. I've even gifted a couple sets of their stuff out. This particular knife, it's not their fancy one. They call it the Bushcrafter series. And then this is the other knife that comes with it in the Bushcrafter bundle. They're curved, or sorry, this is the curved knife and the cleaver knife. Between those two, I don't really need anything else. They also have a fillet knife that I do have. If you watch them, you can get them for an okay price on sale. Okay, ingredients. Obviously, we're making beef stew, so we need beef, right? So this particular one, we're going to use 1 pound of stew meat. This stuff was already cut up. This came from a cow we had butchered this summer, so we'll give that one a run. You're going to need oil. I didn't bring any oil, but we got Kerrygold butter. It's going to work just as good. You'll need salt and pepper. You'll need half of either a yellow or a white onion, whatever you have laying around. Recipe calls for, on the big recipe, 4 cloves of garlic overall. So 3 ought to be good for our toned down one, because I like garlic and Casey doesn't mind. You're going to need 1.5 tablespoons of flour, just all-purpose flour. Let's see, 1/4 cup of Guinness beer. I like the draft cans. I like the draft beer. I guess you could use any stout beer, but Guinness really does taste better in this. Just don't overdo the beer. Resist the urge to dump the whole can in there when you're doing this little partial one. You'll need 1 1/3 cups of beef stock or beef broth, because I couldn't find stock. Stock obviously would be better. It calls for 1 carrot. I might put 2 in there. We'll see what it looks like. A couple potatoes. I prefer Yukon Golds when I'm doing cooking and cooking my stews. You'll need a bay leaf and some thyme. And this is the one opportunity that you're actually going to use fresh parsley. So, yeah. Oh, and then I'm probably going to throw some mushrooms in it too, because I have some creminis sitting in the fridge and they need to get used. Well, it ain't getting any earlier, and this whole recipe takes about 2 hours to cook, and it's going to be dark in close to that probably. So let's just get this show on the road and just go ahead and start prepping everything. So on the onion, you want to go ahead and dice that up. I'd probably make a few nonsense comments here, but whatever. I guess it really just depends on how you like your onions. Some people like them smaller, like my wife, which is actually a really good thing for me, that she prefers that. And then some people like bigger, which is not her. Again, very good for me. We're going to cut up that half onion. Leave it there on the cutting board. We'll get to it in a minute. Save the other half for some other project. On the garlic. God, I love our garlic. I just really dig these knives. And this garlic is actually, I bought on my last little trip through Gilroy, which is the garlic capital here in California. And yeah, Gilroy garlic. I guess if you're going to be known for something, it might as well be something cool like garlic, right? All right. You can mince it. You can do whatever you want. Me personally, I just probably, I don't know. I'm probably not even doing this right. I'm sure there's a chef somewhere that's going to sit there and go, hey, dumbass, you're not even cutting this shit right. And I'm going to say, hey, Mr. Chef, you got paid to go to fucking school. I'm just some fucking dumb redneck with a fucking truck that likes to cook and gets, you know, like shit that tastes good. And, you know, since I'm as fat as I am, obviously I'm a decent cook. Otherwise, I wouldn't be so fucking fat. But all this is all going to end up in there about the same time anyway. This is how we cut our fingers off. Wouldn't be the first time I cut myself out camping, but you know, hey. And then the potatoes, I like potatoes skin on. I'm just weird, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I have some chef friends somewhere that can show me some knife skills. Or I can tell them to fuck off too. Hell, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Alright, that's prepped, and I'm feeling lazy, so the carrots aren't going to get peeled either. Cut them in chunks, cut them in dices, whatever, I don't know. How do you like your carrots in your stew? Cut it however the fuck you want. It's the beauty of outdoor cooking. You ain't got nobody to answer to but yourself. Now, obviously, you want to wash all this shit, right? Because nobody wants dirty fucking carrots in their stew. And I assure you I did all that before I packed it up, but there we go. Alright. Time to get the real shit going. Okay, so before we get started, I definitely want to give a shout out to Hottinger Family Meat. I think I said that right. They're in Chino Hills, California. They're the ones that slaughtered this cow for us. or sorry, they butchered it. They didn't slaughter it. I don't know who the hell slaughtered it, but they did an excellent job. Every piece of meat that we have gotten from them has been cut and wrapped exactly like it should be. Things are trimmed correctly, and I just can't say enough good things about them. In fact, as big of a pain in the ass it was to get up to Chino to pick up this damn cow, when I get ready to slaughter the ones that I want to raise, I think I'll still probably take them up there for processing. All right, so we threw some Kerrygold down in there. Now, if you're cooking up your stew meat, you're going to need to let it thaw out a little bit more. Ours isn't quite thawed. Overcooking all this down, so it's not really going to matter. Really, really healthy doses. This is where you salt and pepper. Salt and pepper. This is when I wish YouTube would invent scratch and sniff videos, because this actually smells really fucking good. What we're trying to do, we don't really want to cook this all the way down. We just want to get a good brown on it. Good sear. Okay, so what you're looking for is just a good sear on all four sides. A nice little char, basically. Something like that, all right? Once that's done, remove from the heat. And you're going to take all that beef and you're going to transfer it to a plate. All right, when that's done, we're just going to go ahead, put that thing right back over the heat. I'm going to turn this one down just a little bit. Add some more butter. That's what we do. Down there. I don't know, like I said, recipe calls for olive oil. I don't fucking always do that shit. Ain't nothing wrong with butter. Alright, now it's show time for the rest of this nonsense. So, go ahead and throw our onion in. We're going to saute that down for 4 or 5 minutes. We'll just sweeten that up a bit. Alright, now after you get all the onions nice and good and brown, it's time to add the garlic. If you didn't know this, you don't want to cook the garlic too early because it'll get bitter. So yeah, there we go, all that garlic got in there. I'm going to saute that up for about a minute. I'll let that cook down really nice. All right, once that's done, we're going to go ahead and stir in all of our flour. And unless you're used to cooking like this might seem a little bit weird, might look odd. It's going to kind of turn into this weird paste down in the bottom. That's okay. That's what we want. So that paste is going to give us a nice thick broth in our stew, instead of it being a soup. You can see right here, it's just kind of, we want to do that, leave it heating up, high heat here for about a minute. that cooked down. All right, from there, we're gonna add our 1/4 cup of Guinness. Stir that up. What you're trying to do is deglaze the bottom of your cast iron when you got it. We're gonna throw in our beef stock. Remember, that's 1 1/3 cup. One of these has a 1/3 on it. Hey, there it is. Starting to get cold. This shit needs to hurry up and get done. This is where we put the beef back in. Go ahead and add our potatoes and our carrots. I'm sure there's something in the recipe, but I don't know what the hell it actually is, so I just give it a dash or 3 of some dried thyme. Throw a bay leaf in there. Oh, it actually has to get in there. Damn wind. And this one, I'm gonna add my mushrooms. Now, the actual other main recipe that I have, my original, calls for Worcestershire sauce. But, you know, I forgot to bring it. So we're just going to see how it is without it. So we're going to stir all that up in there. I'm just going to let this shit simmer and cook down for a while. And it needs to simmer for about 1.5 hours. So I'm going to stir, get everything coated, get everything filled in. Oh, and we need to add, I think it's like a tablespoon of, sorry, a teaspoon of tomato paste. So, almost forgot that on the way up here, so I had to buy a little can and a little trusty John Wayne. I got a can opener in this truck. I just didn't think fast enough or dig it out, and just for one little can, yeah, that's why God made these things anyway, right? I don't know, I got these stupid little can openers. I got them everywhere. I got them in packs. I got like 4 or 5 in the truck. I actually keep some in the camp box because you never know when you need one. I don't know. Years ago, adventures of Casey's mom and I were out on a camping trip. And we wanted some corn or something, I think. And we had nothing to open it with. And we literally had to cut it open with the saw blade. There we go, not that much. Saw blade of a Leatherman that we had in her truck. This is, I don't know, this probably got to be a solid decade ago. And, you know, let's just say metal shavings in your food isn't that great. So, always carry a can opener. You never know when you need it. So yeah, here we go. We're going to get this stirred up, get that tomato paste mixed in. We'll check in over the next little bit. Turn the heat down just a little, because this is way too hot for a simmer. By the way, the Camp Chef Everest stove, bitchin' stove, 2 20,000 BTU burners. Fuck, oh, holy fuck me, it will boil water like there's no goddamn tomorrow. But when you're doing like simmer cooking and shit like that, it is a little bit difficult to get a low heat simmer. But yeah, we're gonna make it happen. So hey, here we go. Let's see what it looks like later. Okay, we're about 30 minutes into it. Let's check on it and give it a little stir. You want to do that every so often. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. Yep. We're going to eat good tonight. Fun tip, if you forgot to buy bread or you're just too lazy to make biscuits and you wanted it with your beef stew when you're on your way out of town, you can stop at the Mexican market and pick up whatever the fuck kind of roll that is and then just heat it up on top of the Dutch oven. The ash isn't going to hurt a goddamn thing. All right, so here we are, hour and a half into it. Our bread's getting warmed up. Holy fuck me, it's fucking cold out here. Thermometer right now says 28 point something fucking degrees. So, yeah, fucking cold. That means this stew is going to taste that much fucking better. Let's get some out. I think the puppy's hungry. Get some couple bowls. So now, what we're going to do, take the bowls, move them over there, take our lid. Ooh, nice warm bread. Fuck yeah, look at that shit right there. Tell me that doesn't give you wood. I don't care if it does or doesn't. It's giving me fucking wood right now. All right. Let's dish some of that, stir that up. It's been simmering. We're about an hour and 45 into this one. I don't know, higher elevation, fuck, whatever. Make whatever fucking excuse you want. But you know what? Look at this shit right fucking here. Case of bean. It's gonna be all the fuck over it. I can't see it real well right now because it's fogging the fuck out my glasses. Put that shit in a bowl. All right. And now, if you remember in the beginning, I said parsley was an ingredient, right? And none of y'all saw me put parsley in there. Well, it reminds me of an old high school joke, right? What's the difference between pussy and parsley? Ain't nobody eat parsley. And the other one was parsley and pubic hair have in common? They both get pushed aside before you fucking eat. But you know what? We're going to take some of that fresh parsley because we are not savages, right? Because that's the whole fucking thing. You don't have to eat like a savage when you're out cooking. I'm going to throw some on there for a garnish. And look how fucking sexy that looks. We're going to make another bowl here real quick for the case dog. Because it's just too fucking hot for her to eat right now. But, you know, we let it sit out in this weather. It's going to cool down real fucking quick. And you know what? She's been a good sport. And it's fucking cold. And she deserves a good bowl of food. Especially some warm food. Right? Because that's the whole thing about this shit. Is you get out there. So that's the one. And you know what? We cannot forget pubic hair for Casey, right? We got to garnish that shit too, because dogs are people too. So hey, there you go. All right, so here's take two. So if you're watching this one, that means that sober me decided that drunk me was an asshole and didn't take the first take that I just filmed. Anyway, so yeah. Nice hot plate of beef fucking stew. Got some good fucking bread to go with it. And just tear off a bit because, you know, hey, just because we're camping doesn't mean you have to eat like a savage, right? But you still eat bread like a savage. And let me tell you, that hits the spot. It's 28 degrees out here right now. That's quite cold. So, this is a damn good meal. Sun's already down. It's going to be dark probably in the next 20 minutes. And it don't get any better than this, folks. We're out here in the solitude. Casey down there hanging out with us. Do yourselves a favor. Get out and do some adventuring. Really.